Well, hello. Welcome back to another exciting edition of Coffee with Steven. For lack of a better term, we'll call this the Christmas edition. So I had this idea in mind. I was going to write this really uplifting, sort of spiritually encouraging blog article for this week, based on the fact that it's Christmas time and everything else. But then something happened. So, as many of you know, one of the inspirations for this blog is my wife, Sandy. Sandy is my muse, and oftentimes she's the one who gives me ideas. She'll specifically say, hey, listen, I think you should write a blog on this particular subject or whatnot. Well, last week, Sandy inspired me in a blog posting, not from something that she suggested, but rather something that she did, or more appropriately stating, something that happened to her. So last Wednesday, many of you may know, the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, decided to launch his face diaper mandate. So, as of Wednesday, if you wanted to go into a public building, you had to wear your face diaper. Uh, Turns out, many of you, again, may remember that on Tuesday, the day before, we had a torrential rainstorm. Now, I had originally been scheduled to do a range day on Wednesday, but I thought, with as muddy as Prado was going to be, it's probably better just to cancel it out. So we had canceled range day for Wednesday, and since we were canceled, I sort of had the whole day free. Well, Sandy had wanted to do some Christmas shopping, some last minute stuff, and we figured this is a perfect opportunity. I would kind of join her, and we would go over and go to the mall and do, all that nonsense. So we had decided to go to South Coast Plaza. We don't normally go there, but this Wednesday we decided to do it. So we drove over there and we got out of the vehicle. We were walking in towards the mall. We both had our face diapers in our pockets. And Sandy turned to me and she said, unless somebody specifically tells me to put this thing on, I'm not going to do it. And I thought, yes, let's fight the tyranny. I am 100% behind you. So we went into the mall. I needed to go to the bathroom, and many of you who've been to many of my classes know that that's sort of a reoccurring phenomenon with me. So as I was coming out of the bathroom, Sandy was standing there. She looked extremely agitated, and she said to me, I think I've just been racially profiled. Well, as it turns out, she probably was. Apparently, a security guard had made his way past other people that weren't wearing their masks and went directly to her and demanded that she put one on. And she was a little concerned. Why did he feel it was necessary to approach her rather than all these other patrons? This demanded that she have some level of satisfaction, so she approached with me in tow directly behind her up to the security guard and started asking why he had singled her out. Now, I'm not wearing my face mask at the time, but as we're both standing there, the security guard dismissively says, ma'am, I'm telling everybody to put their face mask on. Well, he never bothered to admonish me to put mine on. But during this entire time, he finally says, look, if you want to talk to my supervisor, you can talk to my supervisor. Now, I should preface this by saying, and those of you who know Sandy know this quite well, she's not one to play the race card, okay? It just doesn't happen with her. So for her to sit there and get to a level of thinking that there had been some level of a racial animus that was manifesting is kind of a big deal. Anyways, the supervisor came up, started talking to her. She was explaining how she had felt offended by the fact that he had focused exclusively on her. The supervisor was trying to tell her that no, there's no racial bias here at all. The security guards are telling everyone. And during this little, dialogue, I'm watching the original security guard, and I'm watching as people go walking past him not wearing their masks. And it doesn't seem to bother him in the very least. He's just kind of watching them. And then an Asian couple comes walking by, not wearing their mask, this suddenly motivates him to go into action, and he tells them they have to put their mask on. And I lost my shit. I'm like, are you kidding me? I just watched him do this directly in front of us. Anyways, we ultimately ended up leaving the mall. But I think it's instructive. And in the blog, we talk about, sort of what could best be described as, sort of not systemic racism. That would be a misunderstanding. Probably the better way of saying it is some level of passive racism or perhaps even, incidental racism, but something that definitely manifests that, needs to be addressed. Anyways, it's kind of amusing. I'm not going to lie. I hope you enjoy it. Have a very Merry Christmas as you ponder the things that I've written. As always, I want you to train constantly, train consistently, train repetitively, and train with purpose. And in this Christmas season, as we celebrate the birth of Christ, remember what he said. L'chaim.